So one of the most important skills that you need to develop as a person if you want to get ahead in life is your people skills. So in this video, I'm going to talk you through some of the techniques that I use to be pretty good at what I do on a day-to-day basis. So all the way from a work setting to a social setting to your personal relationships. Hi, my name is Opie. I talk about health, wealth, and happiness in these videos. So this one's about happiness, I suppose, because when you get along with people, not only are you making them feel better, but you also feel better inside. And my goal often is to make the other person feel like they're $1 million by the time I, walk away from them. So if we've had an interaction, I want them to feel better about themselves by the time I'm removed. I hope that makes sense. So I didn't realize I sort of have these skills or had developed these skills over time until a work colleague very earlier on in my career, I suppose. He tapped me on the shoulder and goes, "Hey, Opie, can I talk to you for a couple of minutes?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man, sure, no worries, Anthony, let's go." So ended up having a chat with him and he goes, "Hey, Opie, I've noticed that you're quite good at running workshops, the interactions that you have, dealing with different difficult stakeholders and so forth. Can you teach me, how you sort of do these?" And I honestly didn't realize I was doing these things. And obviously, I'm not special. I had developed these techniques just by reading a whole bunch of books. Naturally, I am a nice person, but that's not going to cut it. These are deliberate skills that you actually have to learn, and they're not hard at all. I'm going to go through some of these now, but they are techniques that you should try and learn to really give you that edge in life, okay? Not only that edge, but having the ability to, stand up from your peers. So like if you're hiring two different people, one's got, all the knowledge, from a resume perspective, but they've got a wrong attitude. They can't get along with other people. But there's this other person who's 80% there from a technical perspective, but they're, got great attitude. They get along with people in terms of culture-wise. I would hire this person every single time because some of the technical skills to do one's job can be learned. Whereas bad attitude, not being able to get along with people, it's just, obviously they can be learned, but if they are naturally not a good person in terms of the way that they see the world and they interact with other people, it's difficult, it's hard. So let me give you some book recommendations, okay? So one of the books that I read very earlier on, almost every night for weeks at a time, is this really thin book. I couldn't find it. It's somewhere in my bookshelf, but it's called People Skills by Les Giblin. So People Skills by Les Giblin. I don't know if there are copies available, so just search around, but I'm sure there are PDFs available that you can download and read. And you'll look at it and go, man, was this written for a kindergartner? Because it's that basic. All right. So these are, some of the techniques that they use. One of the first principles that it's discussed in this book is a person's name is the most important thing in their life. So if I meet somebody, I'm gonna make sure that I get their name. Yeah, this might seem so basic, so obvious, but people don't do it. If someone's name is hard to pronounce, they'll go, "Oh, I'll just call you Bob." No, people are often offended by this if you don't treat them with respect. And the way that you treat them with respect is by calling by them their name, using their name or their preferred name or their abbreviation. Don't automatically abbreviate people's names as well. I met this girl one time at work. Her name was Madeline, and she kept referring to herself, others kept referring to her as Maddie. I'm like, yeah, that's Maddie. That's a cute name, but I didn't know how to pronounce, spell it out. Is it Madi or Maddy? I don't know. So I sent her a message going, "Hey, Maddie, I just wanted to make sure that I'm, typing your name correctly when I'm writing emails. How do you spell it?" And he goes, "Oh, OP, thank you so much for just checking up on that. And, this is how you spell it." But people appreciate that extra step that you take because they feel special. And, we're not being manipulative here. It's just common courtesy to call people by their name because that's the most precious thing to them. So try and get the pronunciation as well. And, most people don't mind telling you how to pronounce their name. I mean, I'm working with a young lady at the moment. Her name's Neha, but people are calling her Neha. And she's already corrected them once, but I think I'm going to have to step in and actually go, "Hey guys, team, this is how you pronounce this person's name." So I think she's too shy to, do this, make that correction again. So it's fine. These things happen, but, treat people with respect by calling them by their name. That's advice number one from my end. Other types of advice that I can give you is be genuinely interested. All right. So ask questions, ask how the other person is doing. You might have had a whole bunch of day, but, an interesting day, but let the other person go first. And then you can sort of give your feedback on how you're doing. So if you are genuinely interested about other people, you're going to make them, as I said, feel like $1 million. And then when you walk away, they'll think, "Oh my goodness, this person has been the most interesting. I've had the most interesting conversation with them." But in reality, all you've done is step back and listen and let them talk. Okay. Let me give you some book recommendations. So one of the most amazing books out there is Personality Plus by Florence Litea. I'm probably not pronouncing her name correctly, but Florence breaks down personalities into 4 categories, right? So let me read them out to you. They are the sanguines. Sanguines are the outgoing, enthusiastic, talkative, people-oriented people, right? So you would know these people straight away. So if you go into a party, they are basically what's known as the life of the party. Nothing too serious. It's just, they're basically very fun-loving people. That's the sanguines. Then you got the cholerics. Cholerics are very goal-driven. They're determined, assertive, and very task-oriented. And often, these people are sometimes put on leadership roles. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, but they're sort of, a bit more serious, a lot more serious than the sanguines, okay? But they're the sort of goal-driven people. I'm on a mission, I've got my routines in place, bam, bam, bam. Melancholies. The reason why I did melancholies they are the analytical people. So, you got to work out what your personality is, because often you'll have clashes with some of these other personalities. So who are the melancholies? As I said, they're the analytical, very detailed oriented people, perfectionists often. Okay. They're introverted, and, often the melancholies and the sanguines clash, because sanguines are just, "Hey, yeah, let's just get things done." Whereas these like, "No, we need a system in place. We need the processes, blah, blah, blah." So there's a clash there. And the other ones are the phlegmatics. The phlegmatics are the calm, collected, easygoing, very diplomatic, right? You ask them to give you their opinion on something and they'll sit on the fence because they don't want to cause any trouble. They will take the diplomatic approach to resolving issues. I'm sure you can think of a phlegmatic in your life that's just, they don't like conflict. They just sit back, as I said, very easygoing. So, and I'm sure there are other authors out there who have, broken different types of personalities into different categories. This is just one example. I mean, it's sold over 1 million copies, and I got this book 15, 20 years ago. In fact, you might be able to tell what type of personality I am because I've ended up laminating this book as well. And the corners double. So yeah, so there's a bit of perfectionist in me, unfortunately. Yeah. So find out what your personality is, because by you understanding your own personality and what type of person you are, and there is a personality test that you can take. So if you go to her website, I'm assuming there is a personality test. I haven't checked, but I have a feeling there will be, and that way you could actually figure out where you are. So Personality Plus is great. Anything from this author, Alan Pease. So Alan Pease Alan and his wife, Barbara Pease, have written a number of books. This is called People Skills for Life. Okay, one of many books that he's written. That one's People Skills for Life. This one's Body Language. Questions are the answers. And like some of the ways that he describes things is just hilarious. It's like an entertaining read, very practical. There's another one that's puts differences between how women deal with things as opposed to men. They say that the average man speaks about 3,000 words per day, and a woman will speak 10,000 words per day. I don't know if I'm getting the numbers right, but it's significantly more. So generally, I mean, I can tell this by the way I interact with my daughter and son. If I ask my son, how's your day? Good. Same question with my daughter, I'll get a lengthy answer. And I remember this growing up because I've got a younger sister. And when I got picked up from school as well, I didn't know I was doing this. How's your day? My mom would ask. I'd be like, yeah, good day. And that was it. And I thought that was a perfectly acceptable answer. I asked the same question from my sister. Oh my gosh, she would go on, I went to recess. I had this for play lunch. Then we did maths. Then we had, lunch. And like it was a more detailed, comprehensive answer, just because I guess we're built differently, right? And how we express ourselves. So, and I distinctly remember this. And I'm going, man, what are you doing? Mom doesn't care what you had for lunch. She made you your lunch. Why are you telling her this? I remember we were sitting in a blue, it was a sky blue Nissan Sigma, and we're in the back, and she'd be telling, and I'd remember looking across, going, Nuggie, why are you telling her all these stories? But that's how she, wanted to communicate with mom. But yeah, so, know that men and women are built differently. I mean, I'm all for, people having equal rights and stuff, but that's not what this is about. This is just, I guess, I'm speaking from a general sense, obviously, generally learn the differences. And of course, I can't end this video without talking about one of my favorite books, which is The 5 Love Languages. And Dr. Gary Chapman basically just says we as people love differently. Okay, so some people like receiving gifts, while other people like receiving words of affirmation. Other people want quality time. The other people want, kisses and cuddles. They like the physical touch, and that's how they feel loved. What was the other one? Number 5 was duties. Like you're basically, what is it called? I'm losing it now. It's basically when you do little stuff for other people. Acts of service, that's it. So acts of service for other people. So, you're helping them in the kitchen, wash the dishes. If you're playing with a child, you're helping them pack up or do a board game with them. So these acts of service or that could be counted as quality time as well, right? So there's overlaps there. So once you learn, what your love language is, there might be 1 or 2 or 3, you might be able to figure out what other people's love languages are and make sure you give love in that appropriate language, because it'll be better received that way. So just know that these people skills are so important. They are learned skills, okay? Don't be fake about it. Try and be genuine as you can, because people can see through it. I remember I had a manager once, very senior guy, and naturally he wasn't a people person, but you can tell, and that's the bad thing about it. I mean, at the time, I could tell that he had learned these skills because he was executing them. Because you can tell sometimes he would get annoyed and he would keep it in, all right, which is fine. We all get annoyed, but you could tell the other parts were sort of faked, and you can't fake it. I mean, do your best not to fake it. Come across as genuine as you can, because you should genuinely be interested in other people, the way you interact. But if you are faking it, other people will see through it and it's not going to come across nicely. Thank you so much. I hope you learned something out of this. If you wanted to learn more about the 5 love languages, I've actually made a separate video on that. I'll link to it at the end of this video. Check that out. But I'll see you in the next video. Thanks. Check it out. Bye.